Fourth generation pig ear sandwiches meeting 15-year-old farm to table dreams. That's what happens when you put Jackson's past and future in the same room. Hey, it's Paul Wolf with a front row seat to conversations on culture from Jackson, Mississippi. We call our podcast Soul Sessions. It's the people, places, and events that make the city with soul shine. On today's show, I step back and let two incredible chefs talk shop. Geno Lee, the fourth generation owner of the Big Apple Inn on Farish Street, sits down with Simms Powell, a 15-year-old culinary and artistic prodigy who's been cooking since he was 9. Both are featured on the cover of our 2026 tour guide, and this conversation about Filipino food, fusion cuisine, and what it really takes to make people feel at home through food is exactly why Jackson's culinary scene is second to none.
When I think about you, you're good at art. You're good at, I was just joking a little while ago about singing, but you probably can sing.
I don't know if I got those Filipino genetics. I got the cooking ones.
So out of all the things you do well, which from what I hear, I mean, you're almost like, you're a ninth grade legend in this town. What is your favorite thing you like to do out of all the things you do?
Cooking, probably.
Cooking?
I mean, but the whole, probably combining a lot of those and like fishing and then being able to, take those fish that I catch and include that in my cooking, or going out foraging in the woods and finding ingredients and including that in my cooking. Cooking, I think, brings together a lot of the passions I really enjoy.
Oh, wow. So you're taking farm to table to a whole new level. You can go pond to table, you can go woods to table. That is so cool.
Yeah. Like Uncle Gerald, he'll bring deer. Sometimes he'll hunt for deer. He'll bring them home, and I mean, I love butchering them. I love breaking them down into the separate pieces of meat. I think that's a really cool process.
See, that's amazing. I won't even try that. Somebody has given me a deer before, but I take it straight to a processor. I wouldn't know what to do.
Yeah, I mean, you really get to see where your food comes from, from the source, and I really think that's something neat that you can't do that just buying food at the grocery store.
Where'd you learn that? You learned that in culinary school?
I learned that from family, and I learned from, just online. You can learn so much if you take the time.
Right, I guess so. You can Google anything these days and find it on YouTube. I think the closest I get to farm to table or pond to table or woods to table is Kroger. That's about it. When people say, Geno, do you fish? Not beyond the seafood section at the grocery store, but that's about it. That is so cool. So out of all those things, out of all the cool things do you even have a favorite dish you love to cook, or a favorite genre of food, or a favorite ethnicity of food?
I think that's one of the questions I get asked most, and it's one of the questions I answer the least. I think probably Asian food because of my grandparents, but I think probably the best answer I could give for that is just the food that brings me nostalgia, the food that reminds me of home, like Lola's cooking, the dishes she'll make. Oh,
wow. So what does Lola make?
Well, some of the adobo I brought you today, that's one of her recipes.
Oh, man. Which that adobo is, that's fantastic. I haven't had adobo in, oh my goodness, in about 6 years. I was at this cool little Filipino restaurant in Vegas, which they're all over Vegas. And man, that was some good adobo. I think yours might have them beat though, man. That is awesome.
Thank you. Well, I have a question for you. What do you think is going to be the next up and coming cuisine from a country or a specific cuisine?
Man, dude, you came out with guns blazing. Let's see here. I don't know. I'm kind of like you. I love everything Asian, and everybody in my family loves everything Asian. So that's pretty much what we follow. We follow all the street foods and all that. So, I really don't know. I do see some people experimenting now with a little bit of Russian foods. You notice that? The borschts and that kind of things. You're starting to see a little bit of more of that in the menus in New Orleans. I was in Dallas last weekend, and I saw some Russian cuisine kind of added to that. So I don't know.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, it is. But I do know this. I know that fusion cuisine is just taking over everywhere. That's the hottest trend right now. We were in Dallas this weekend, and we went to this taqueria. And am I saying that right? Taqueria? A taco place?
Yeah.
And But when you order it, you order an Indian taco or a Vietnamese taco. And,
Oh, wow,
And so
really?
it had like a taco that had pho flavor, or it had a taco
How was
that
that?
had it was incredible. Every one of them, it looked like a taco, but it had its indigenous flavor for whatever country. You know, like a Bindi Marsala taco. You know, like, man, this
Yeah.
is just, it was really neat.
Well, I think that's something we got to try here with like fusion with maybe using some of the Filipino food or Filipino flavors like that adobo and put it in one of the sandwiches.
There you
I think
go.
That'd be really interesting.
Adobo smoke.
Yeah.
There we go. I think so. You know,
We'll have to try it.
Have you ever tried, since we're on Filipino food right now, have you ever tried a balut?
I have not. I had the chance in the Philippines, but I was, I think, 9 years old and I was not ready for it. But I'd love to try it now. It's
Wow.
on my bucket list.
For our listeners, explain what balut is.
It is a fertilized duck egg that's been boiled and salted. And the traditional way of eating it is you crack the top open and drink a little bit of the like liquid soup on top, and then you eat the egg with the fertilized duck inside.
Oh man, my grandmother used to love balut, and when I remember seeing her eating, I was like you. When I saw her eating it, I was young, so I was afraid to try it. And there were different stages. She would explain to me, like some of them. I mean, you could actually see the chicken and the feathers and all that. And she just popped the whole thing in her mouth. Some of them, I mean, you could tell it was just like a fetus, you know, like a
Yeah.
little embryo thing. And she said that was her favorite way of eating, you know, when they were really, really underdeveloped, and she'd drink that guts and jaws.
Yeah, I remember in the Philippines, one of the things that kind of pushed me away from that at first was one of our family members was eating a piece of balut. It put it in their mouth, and then they pulled a feather out of their mouth right after.
I know, right? Oh my goodness. So the Jackson scene, you think Jackson's ready for a Filipino restaurant?
I think so.
I think we can handle it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I haven't met anyone who has had Filipino food and hasn't liked it.
Right.
It's-
You know, there was some kind of Filipino pop-up sometime a while back.
Yeah, a couple years ago.
Yeah, did you go?
I did.
Did you?
Yeah. it
How was
good.
that?
It was good. It was Filipino food that was kind of leveled. It was kind of like how Elvies would do something, like, you know, kind of leveled up. So it wasn't quite Filipino home cooking, but it still was really good and captured the essence of what Filipino food is.
Wow, fancy Filipino food.
Yeah.
Fancy spelled with a PH. Fancy Filipino.
I think Jackson needs a Filipino place. We keep joking with my Lola that that's what I need to do when I get out of high school and she can come out of retirement. We can start a little Filipino food truck.
Hey, I think that'll be neat. I think that's one thing that we don't have here. You know, something really different like that. You know.
Yeah. And
Man.
you know, halo halo, like the shaved ice.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that in the hot Mississippi summers, I think that would just fly off the shelves.
Oh man. Let me ask you, ever been to golly, what's that? It's Filipino fast food.
Jollibee.
Jollibee. Have you been to Jollibee?
I have.
Have you?
Yeah, I wish we'd have one here. I mean, I'll put that up there with my favorite fried chicken places.
I love their fried chicken. The spiciness of it, man, that is so good.
Gravy,
How about the spaghetti?
the rice, the
You ever
sweet
had this?
spaghetti.
The sweet spaghetti, right? The spaghetti with sugar all of yeah.
That one's an interesting one. I had some yesterday at a Filipino party, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
At the Filipino club that meets once a month, or
It
what?
was at a potluck birthday party. Just
Really?
right down the road, actually. There was a big tray of sweet spaghetti.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So, Simms, what is your ethnicity? You're Filipino and
Quarter Filipino, quarter Indian, and half white.
gotcha. So you're kind of like me. I'm Filipino, black, and Mexican.
Yeah.
You know, so kind of like we're fusions ourselves. So that's kind of cool. So I guess when did you start loving food?
I mean, I think probably from a really young age, at like 4, I'd walk through the grocery stores and I'd want to touch every fruit on the shelf.
Really?
And I'd want to try, you know, raw oysters at like 5. I've loved them since.
Wow.
One of my favorite foods. And I'd always just want to help in the kitchen. Like whenever my parents were in there, I'd ask to just help chop cucumbers for salad or whatever.
Yeah. You know, I'm trying to think. You start at such a young age. I don't think that I was as excited about food until I got to probably junior high.
Yeah.
You know, we were living in Europe and we go to all these different countries, and that's when I became just encapsulated by food and all the different cuisines that were out there.
Yeah.
What was wild is my brother and sister never, got a taste for it all. No pun intended. But they have, whenever we go places, they wouldn't try the different foods. And, and I think that's when I fell in love with food. More so eating. In fact, we're so serious about food in my family, dude. We plan vacations around food.
Oh, we do as well.
Do y'all? And people look at us like, man, y'all are just so weird. The whole saying, some people eat to live, we live to eat.
Yeah, totally.
Man, that's so cool.
When you were living in Germany, did that affect any of your cooking at all, or what did you learn from being there?
First of all, I learned how to cook German food. And we had to because we were civilian in Germany.
Yeah.
We weren't on the army base. We had to live on the German economy. So all of my friends were German. All my parents' friends were German, and so we learned how to cook their food. Sauerbraten and Spätzle and Wiener Schnitzel and all that. So we learned how to cook. In fact, my kids to this day, we have to have German food at least once a month. They want German food. Yeah.
That's incredible. So you retained those recipes.
Yeah, and nothing written down. It's just we were raised with it over there. We lived there for 10 years. So we ate it all the time. In fact, my sister, she was born there, and she went to German school. She was bilingual when she first started out. She spoke German and English. And that's the thing. It's so funny when people look at me, and I have a little bit of, and you can tell that I'm not 100% black or 100% Asian. I got a little mixture. And people don't know what to expect when I open my mouth. They say, okay, is he going to speak Spanish, or is he going to speak, have a black dialect, or is he going to speak some kind of Asian dialect? And they say, well, do you speak any foreign language? I say, yeah, I speak German, of all things.
Sure, you shock them with that one.
That's right. So, and I think that helped me get an appreciation for the world, and the different cuisines and different food throughout the world. That's why I love the question that you asked a little while ago. What do I think is going to be the next, food that just breaks the world open? I don't know. What do you think it might be?
I think, and I'm starting to see this, I think it's going to be Filipino food. We're seeing in, some big cities like DC and LA, like Filipino restaurants are popping up everywhere. And
They are.
I think it's going to be, and I hope there'll be something kind of like, Thai food is just such a normal in every city. Everywhere you go, you're going to find Thai food.
Right.
And I think Filipino food might be just like that.
I'm hoping so, because I don't know if you remember this, but before you were born, we had one Thai restaurant in town. That's all we had. It was down south, South Jackson, and, a handful of people knew about it. Now we have, a lot of Thai restaurants. So I'm hoping the Filipino cuisine takes off like that. Now, LA, it's different. Yeah, in California, there's a very big Filipino population.
Yeah.
So, of course, there's going to be a lot of Filipino restaurants and Filipino cuisine, just like in Vegas, a lot of Filipino restaurants because of the population. But I didn't know about D.C.
Yeah, I think, and I hope that starts spreading in more than just our big coastal cities.
Right.
And I think it will, because I think, there's one in D.C. that I think 2 years ago won a James Beard Award as like one of the best restaurants in D.C.
Oh, wow.
And got a lot of attention for that, so.
Hey, speaking of James Beard Award, what do you feel about those Michelin guys? And we got two gourmands here now in Jackson.
It's incredible.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, it's something Jackson should be proud of.
I think so. I think we're long overdue.
I agree. I think for such a city with so much amazing culture and food, sometimes it's just overlooked.
Right. I think so. I think so too. Which I don't understand how Elvis just got a gourmand award, because I think they say that's it has to hit a certain price point. Yeah. I always hit that price point whenever I go there. I've never, they say it's supposed to be like for comfort food, and I don't think it's just comfort. But I'm excited. I think that we're going to have a few more that we're going to see throughout the state.
Yeah, I'm excited. I hope that it just brings more attention and more people are going to see what our Mississippi chefs and restaurants are capable of.
Right, I think we're a hidden gem. That's why I'm excited about the Jackson Food and Wine Festival. When we have the Jackson Food and Wine Festival, we get to showcase some of our wares, And if you get a chance, start going to all of them. Meridian has a great food and wine festival. Natchez has a great food and wine festival. The Coast, but I think, they all pale compared to Jackson. Jackson's Food and Wine Festival is second to none.
Yeah.
I've been to a lot of them out of the state, and I will say we rank right up there with some of the top cities in the United States as far as food and wine festivals.
Yeah, that's incredible. And I'm real excited to go this year because I've never gotten to experience that. But I know a lot of chefs that go there, and I mean, they're so talented with their cooking.
Right. Well, we can always use your help. And I'm going to go on record to say that we could always use your help if you want to help us out at the Jackson Food and Wine Festival. Last year, we did tamales. And we did with a pico de gallo, mango pico de gallo on top. Had a little spice to it, a little heat. It was really neat. The year before that, I actually did smokes. This year, I'm going to do a pig ear. But at my restaurant, we do pig ear sandwiches. I'm going to do it the Asian way. And just cook it, for like 15 minutes, then slice it up really, really fine, and with fresh peppers, and then top it with cilantro, and just serve it in a spoon, and serve it cold.
Wow, that is really neat.
Yeah. You ever had that?
I think one time I've had it at a dim sum place.
Okay, yeah, right.
Yeah, it's so much different from the pig ears you serve here. I mean, it's like the texture is completely different.
100% different. In fact, they have some, if you ever been to Mr. Chin's.
Yeah.
And it's so good, and they dice it up so fine. And the cartilage almost tastes like a vermicelli that's kind of, little cooked, little under al dente.
Yeah.
And so, man, it's so neat. So I said, we're going to try that this year and try something different.
It's really interesting how the cooking process completely changes the pig ear. I mean,
yeah, right.
I don't think there are many things that have as drastic of a change just from the amount of time you cook it as like pig ears do.
Right. Because in order to get it tender enough, like we do in our sandwich, we have to pressure cook it. If we were just to boil it, it would take days to boil to get it that tender. But the Asians, they just want to do theirs 15 minutes because they want the crunch and they want the texture to be a little tougher, So yeah, it is different. I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I agree.
Simms, one thing I've learned about you since I've met you, and speaking with other people who know you, you do so many things and you do so many things well. But out of all the things you do, you said that you really love cooking. That's the thing you love the most.
Yeah.
Do you want to cook for your vocation, or do you want to cook what do you want to do when you get older?
I would love to open a restaurant. I mean, that'd be a dream, is to have my own restaurant and be, something in the same style as Elvy's, like, a smaller, like seasonal restaurant, very farm to table-ish.
Yeah. Any certain kind of cuisine or just everything? I
think it would probably be everything, but I definitely show a lot of my roots in my restaurant.
And that's cool, because some of the best restaurants I've been to, not in Jackson, but out of the state, have been seasonal type restaurants. Is that what you're talking about? Something like I
mean, just, take advantage of the freshest ingredients and of the local farmers. Like, use the best ingredients and the best local ingredients we have to make the best food.
Wow. And Hunter's a pro with that.
Yeah.
You mentioned Elvis, he's a pro with that. He'll take whatever's, available at the time and put it on the plate.
Yeah, it's incredible. I've brought him forged ingredients before, and then 2 days later I'll see it as a special on the menu.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, he's so good with just using the freshest ingredients, even if it's just for a week. And I think that's something I really would love to do as well in my restaurant.
That's neat. I mean, that is so cool. I was at, for New Year's, I went to eat with Shaz over there at Polito's.
Yeah.
And he was able to get his hands on some white truffles.
Wow.
And he did a white truffle spaghetti. And it was the vermicelli style noodle. And then he just, not really any sauce, but just shredded the truffle on top. And that was it. That was the most amazing bite that I have ever had. Just the simpleness of the freshness of the ingredients I think that's so cool that you want to, I think that's what comes out, or you're talking about what's going to come out in your food by doing the seasonal ingredients.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. With an Asian twist, everything. I love that.
Do you have any tips for when I do open a restaurant? Like, the Big Apple Inn has been around forever. How have you just kept it here and kept it strong for so long?
Well, I tell you, I think the secret to our restaurant is we have something different.
Yeah.
It's just something different. We have pig ears and smokes. Those are our main two ingredients. And you're not going to go anywhere else and get it. You might have to be able to copy that, but we have something that's different. But I think the thing that makes the difference, and in fact, I know the thing that makes the difference, and if you talk to any chef or any restaurant owner, the deciding factor for being successful is loving it.
Yeah.
If you love it, and if you love every single person who walks in the door, that's the game changer.
I totally see that here. I mean, every time I come in, there's so much heart and there's so much just emotion that's put into the food. It's incredible.
Right.
And everyone in here just feels like a community when you come in.
Right. And when that happens, stories start to evolve. And when stories start to evolve, it's amazing how, if you ever want to, sometime just come in here and just stop anybody who walks in the door and just say, give me your Big Apple Inn story. They will have one. Everybody who walks in here has a Big Apple Inn story. I've been eating for 30 years. I've been eating for 2 years. I've been eating for a month. Whatever it is, they always have a story on what got them here and what keeps them here. And I think that's kind of atmosphere you want to just keep. Yeah, right? You're just so full of personality, man. It's coming out of your ears. So I have no question whether you're going to just do great in the restaurant scene. One thing I do love think about some of these restaurants around here, some of your favorites. And as you think about your favorite restaurants, you probably know all the chefs.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because they made themselves available. And they come out and they shake hands and they talk to people and let you know what they're cooking. And, that's why they're successful. Yeah. Think about it. Yeah.
That's one of my favorite things is when, a chef will come out and just talk about the dish, even just the dish of the night or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that's incredible.
And when
it really builds community with the people who come to eat there.
It does. And that's what keeps people coming back. I remember this when my wife used to belong to this little bitty Baptist church when she was a little kid. She lives in the country. And they had this little black Baptist church. Once a year, this old white couple would come and give them like a vacation Bible school for a week. And they would look so forward to this vacation Bible school happening every year. So I asked my wife, I said, baby, what did you learn during these weeks of Bible school, all these years coming up? And she said, Geno, I have no idea what I learned, but I do know how they made me feel. And I think that, sometimes your cuisine can be good, but sometimes what even leaves a better taste in people's mouth is how you make people feel.
Definitely. That's so true.
Yeah.
One of the things I think I want to capture in my restaurant is kind of how I feel and how people feel. My grandparents, Lola and Dada, they'd invite everyone to their house for meals. I mean, it would just, just the neighbor down the street. It'd be like, we should have them over for dinner this week. And I want people to feel connected in that same way of just a community. And food isn't just there to look good and to taste good, but it's there to bring people together.
It is. Food is community. Man, that's so good. And I could see you creating that in your restaurant. It's almost like I'm going to Simms restaurant because it's like going home.
Yeah, that's how I want people to feel if I open one. I want them to not just think of it as a place with good food.
Right. Oh, that is so good. That is so good. Well, you can create that atmosphere, that is so good. And that's what I tell my employees all the time. When people come in, they have to reflect you.
Yeah.
So they have, my employees, when they see them, I want them to be able to see me. Because you're the reason why they come to the restaurant. Your employees may be great, but they're coming to see Simms or they're coming to see Geno. So that
really
is
neat. Incredible.
Yeah, I love it, man. Well, I think you're going to do great. I'm excited for your journey, and I can't wait to eat some more of your food.
Me either. I can't wait. There's so much for you to try.
Sometimes you just got to know when to take a step back and let your guests take the mic. What a gift it was to be in the room for that conversation. Jackson's food scene isn't just about what's on the plate. It's about the stories we tell, the heritage we honor, and the community we create. From Big Apple Inn's nearly century-long legacy to Simms' dreams of owning a seasonal restaurant that honors his Filipino, Indian, and American roots. This is what cooking across generations looks like. And whether it's adobo smokes, pig ears prepared 2 different ways, or just loving every person who walks through your door, the best food always comes from the heart. We'll have links in our show notes at visitjackson.com/soul session to more about Geno, Simms, the Big Apple Inn, Jackson Food and Wine, and so much more. This podcast is produced by Visit Jackson, the destination organization for Mississippi's capital city. Our executive producers are Jonathan Pettis and Dr. Ricky Thickpen, and I'm our managing editor. You can learn more about Visit Jackson and all the great work we're doing at our website. It's visitjackson.com. I'm Paul Wolf, and you've been listening to Soul Sessions.